I think the evidence is overwhelming that the United States is trying to create a situation in which it can get away with a strike on Iran. That's why we have the continual demonization of Iran, which is now multi-years old. We have all kinds of claims made about nuclear weapons programs, all of which have been refuted by the International Atomic Energy Agency's weapons inspectors on the ground in Iran. The refutations of the charges do not come merely from the Iranian government, but from the International Atomic Energy Agency. So there's no evidence of any weapon program. There is the assertion by the United States government that Iran has one. It's the same kind of baseless, groundless, fabricated assertion that they made about Saddam Hussein's weapons of mass destruction. And what we have today in the modern world is the ability of blatant propaganda, obvious lies, to take all precedence over facts. Just as the weapons inspectors in Iraq said over and over, there's no weapons of mass destruction here. It didn't matter what the facts were because the United States government was able to continually repeat a lie, and the media simply accepted the lie, never exposed it, and created as a fact that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. And we had high officials of the government going on about mushroom clouds and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what they've been repeating with Iran. It's clear that the United States is trying to create a situation that will justify whatever lies the government tells in order to attack Iran. So we have the neoconservative ideology that is implanted in the United States government, and this is an ideology of world hegemony, that is, to dominate the world. Now, Iran is the last remaining independent country in the Middle East. We could say, well, maybe Syria, but they're sort of boxed in. The rest of them are either occupied by the United States or are under the control of American puppet governments, like Egypt, for example, which is just another puppet state of the United States. And so this is part of extending the hegemony, clearing out the Middle East of any independent governments that represent their own people as opposed to American interest. So that's one part of it. Another part of it is Israel. Israel wants to be able to completely dominate the Middle East. It wants to finish the expelling Palestinians from the West Bank. It wants to grab southern Lebanon because of the water resources. And without Iran, there's no support whatsoever for Hamas, and so they can finish starving the Palestinians in Gaza and finish expelling the Palestinians from the rest of the West Bank. So that is another part of it. So we have those are two big parts. And then the third part is just the American military security complex. It needs wars for its profits. And the United States government is all in favor of these wars and profits because money gets recycled back in political contributions. So for the United States government, war is a way of recycling taxpayers' money through the military security complex back into political campaigns. And of course, the fourth part is the prostitute U.S. media. This media serves as a propaganda ministry for all of these deceptions. And there you have the picture. That is why it's happening. It is not happening because Iran represents any kind of a threat.
Well, I fear that that's right, and I fear that it will also be used as not only a distraction against the ongoing collapse of the economy, but also a way of pinning the blame for the collapse of the economy on the military action, when we know the roots of the current economic crisis are much, much deeper. So we have that to worry about as well. Well, in the final minute we have remaining, can you just tell people where they can go to get a copy of your book?
Well, the book on the economy is available from Amazon.com, or it's available from Counterpunch.org.
Dr. Roberts, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. Thank you again for joining me today.
Yes, thank you.